Every troop of heroes needs someone who is incredibly strong, whose bravery never falters, and whose stupidity brings humor to tense moments. Grog certainly fills this role for Vox Machina. He is charmingly dull-witted with a heart of gold, except when he's being controlled by his weapons. Let's see what he looks like in BG3. You skipped a few things. The members of Vox Machina have official D&D sheets, so their BG3 builds will follow them closely with some deviations here and there for constraints or additional options. For example, Grog has an intelligence score of 6. This score is impossible in BG3 without a mod, and I haven't found a mod that lets you set scores lower than 8. Starting off with the basics, we are going to be using a mod for the race here. This is the DND Expanded mod, so that we can get access to Goliath. For the sub-race, we are going to go with Storm's Thunder, descended from Storm Giants, and the sub-race feature is Storm's Thunder. When you take damage from a creature within 18 meters, you can deal 1 to 8 thunder damage to them. The class is of course going to be Barbarian, which opens up the Rage action and the Unarmored Defense class feature. The background is going to be Outlander, which gives you Athletics and Survival for skills. Now for the ability points, this is where things are going to deviate the most from the official build. Intelligence cannot be lowered further than 8. So we're going to be lowering Wisdom to 8 as well to balance out the scores. So we're going to start with a 16 in Strength with the +2 modifier, a 14 in Dexterity, bring this down to 8 so we can bring Constitution up to 16 as well with the +1 modifier. As I said, Intelligence and Wisdom will be 8, and then Charisma will be brought up to 12. For skill proficiencies, we already have Athletics and Survival. The other two will be Intimidation and Animal Handling. Now on to the appearance. Now the appearance here is going to be based on the Grog from the Vox Machina Amazon Prime series, because that will be more recognizable to a wider audience. So firstly, we need body type 2. None of these voices are going to work well, so I'd probably just go to the deepest one, which is voice 7, but none of them sound like Grog. For the head, we are going to go with head 1, which I think is the closest option available. There are a lot of customizable heads out there with official modding. Unfortunately, none of them seem to work with the D&D Expanded races, or at least not the Goliath one, unfortunately. So maybe that's something people can work on. For the skin tone, we are going to go with Dusk Tone 1. Next, we're going to put on some body art. Unfortunately, the only artwork you can get right now is on the face, not the body. We are going to go with Suffusion, which I think is the closest one available to what Grog has. For the tattoo color, I would recommend going with gray. Next up is the eyes. You need to check off all eye colors, and the best one I found was Topaz 1, which is a bit of an orangey look. Going on to makeup, we're just going to accentuate the eyes a bit using Makeup 4. Color will be black and should stay at 100%. If you don't like how strong that looks, you can just turn down the percentage, but you'll see in the cartoon that he actually has a lot of black liner around his eyes. Skipping hair, of course, but down to facial hair. Again, this is another unfortunate situation where there are some good mods out there for beards, but they don't work with Goliath specifically. So we're stuck with just what the game comes with, and Groomed Rascal is really the closest one. Now for hair color, I'm sure this will cause some debate, but in the cartoon, the hair is a very, very dark brown, sometimes so dark that you can't actually tell it's brown. So I had to bring some pictures into Photoshop and check the color just to be sure, but it is in fact a very dark brown. So we're going to go with black brown. So again, just on the cusp of being black. And then to bring in just a little more color to it, I'm gonna go to graying, select brown 3, and turn that up to 100% just to give it a little bit of highlighting with brown so that you can see the brown more when the light catches it, which is what we see in the show. When he's in darkness, it really looks black, but when he's in light, you can see the brown shining through. All right, and that will do it for the appearance. On to the build. Okay, this build is going to be really simple because it's just 12 levels in Barbarian, so we'll go through this pretty quickly. At level 2 Barbarian, you unlock Danger Sense and Reckless Attack. At level 3 Barbarian, it's time to take the subclass, which is going to be Berserker. So that will unlock the Frenzy action, as well as the Frenzied Strike and Enraged Throw. At level 4, it's time to take the first feat, and the first feat we are going to take is Tough. Your hit point maximum increases by 2 for every level you've gained. At level 5, you unlock the extra attack and fast movement features. At level 6, you unlock an additional Rage charge, and you also unlock your subclass feature of Mindless Rage. At level 7, you unlock the class feature of Feral Instinct. At level 8, it's time to choose your second feat, which will be Mobile, which increases your movement speed, and difficult terrain doesn't slow you down when you dash. You also don't provoke opportunity attacks after making a melee attack. At level 9, you unlock the class feature Brutal Critical. At level 10, you unlock the Intimidating Presence action, menace an enemy and instill a terrible fear within them. At level 11, you unlock the Relentless Rage class feature. And finally, at level 12, you unlock an additional Rage charge, and you need your final feat, which is going to be Great Weapon Master. When you land a critical hit or kill a target with a melee weapon attack, you can make another weapon attack as a bonus action that turn. Attacks with melee weapons you are proficient with and are wielding in both hands can deal an additional 10 damage at a cost of -5 attack roll penalty. You can toggle this part on and off. And that will do it for the build, so we'll move on to the bonus section.
Before we go to the bonus section, I have a quick favor to ask. If you're enjoying the build and haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. We have many other BG3 character builds and are continuing to put out more based on subscriber feedback. Thank you.
A great endgame stand-in for Grog's Titan Knuckles are the Gauntlets of Hill Giant Strength that you can get at the House of Hope in Act 3. Since there are no belts in BG3, to get a +2 to Con, you can use the Enraging Heart Garb in Act 2 at Moonrise Towers. In Act 3, you can use the Amulet of Greater Health, which is right near the gauntlets. For Grog's Great Axe, which is pretty basic, you have 2 viable options. You can get the very heavy Great Axe in Act 1 if you kill the Goblin Fezerk, and in Act 2, at the Last Night Inn, you can get the Defender Great Axe. As a stand-in for Craven's Edge, you can use the Sword of Chaos from Sarevok in Act 3, which does necrotic damage, like Craven's Edge, and heals the user on hits, similar to the Sapping Strength ability of Craven's Edge. Other gear isn't necessary for RP purposes, but here are some additional options. Although Grog doesn't wear headgear, you have the option to toggle the Don't Show Helm on, so you could use the Bonespike Helm from the sewers in Act 3, which is a great addition to any barbarian. For footwear, the Linebreaker boots, found in the Shattered Sanctum in Act 1, synergize well with the mobile feet. For late-game footwear, the Bonespike boots from Rivington in Act 3 are a great choice for barbarians. That's it for the Grog build. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, keep an eye out for more Vox Machina builds. Thanks for watching.